Second time, and I think all of you are going to give her a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, her first time at the Blue Lagoon, Miss Nicole Comedy.
I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Everyone's been great so far. You guys, we have a really big election coming up. I hope everyone's gonna vote. But it just makes me think that I could never ever run for president because I have little to no sexual experience. So what do I know about discrimination? Actually, I had a very embarrassing sexual problem. I'm married. And when you tell someone that's already married that you're gonna get married, they always say the same thing. They're always like, "Oh, marriage is great, but it's a lot of hard work." That's a little vague. Because it's a little more than hard work. It's crazy. And I don't know. I feel like really to break that stereotype, I'm gonna start telling my friends that are getting married that there's a simple test they can do to find out if they should get married or shouldn't. Okay, it's really easy. So, if you're thinking about getting married, all you need to do is go to the hardware store and buy yourself a hammer. And for the next 365 days, when you are at your happiest, every day, just whack yourself on the foot with the hammer. And after a year's time, you will find out that you are one of two types of people. You are either the type of person who's after a year, you're like, "Oh my gosh, that was really hard work, but I learned so much about myself. And I just can't wait to see what the next year brings." Then you should get married. You should do it up really big and throw the rice and everything, but you know what? Don't throw the rice, because if you kill a bird and we're here in Santa Cruz, next day you're gonna have pipe bombs exploding in your house and stuff. So skip the rice, However, if you go through a whole year's time, and after that, every time you look at that hammer, you can think of nothing else but to bury that hammer in a shallow grave in your backyard, and then sleep with every other tool that comes around, then you should buy your condoms at Costco and become a hoe. And that's okay. You did the test. I actually like pain though, so I went ahead and got married. I just enjoy it, I can't help it. And when I was in high school, I was fantasize about getting married like everyone does, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna get a job, I'm just gonna be a sexual goddess, and that's all I'm gonna do is have amazing sex all the time. And then I don't know how I thought I was gonna get money, but with any available money I got, I was gonna go to Camouflage and buy lingerie and swings and handcuffs and just do the whole thing. But it never really came into my conscious that I'm very clumsy. And so before I have sex, I have to pad the room and strap on my helmet because concussions are not good. And the safety goggles, because everyone wants to put a lamp on their bedstand, and glass in the eye is definitely not sexy. And that's just before I have sex with myself. There's not even anyone else in the room at that point. It's just me. And then the other thing I never took into consideration is that my husband is lazy with a capital L. And so this is a typical night at my house, sad to say. I stand at the base of the stairs and I wear my nightgown that is sadly the exact replica of the one my mom had when I was I slide the strap down and I just watch on TV and I'm going to bed now. And he's just okay, peace out. So I take a couple steps up the stairs and I'm I'm going to bed now. And he just stares straight ahead because he thinks I'm going to get tired of asking him. And I'm hey. And he's hey, come on, man. He's I've got a tender tummy. And I'm dude, you're almost 300 pounds. Everything on you should be tender, from the balls of your feet all the way up to your little man boobs. That doesn't mean I don't want to palm one every now and then, so you can pull up your big boy panties and get upstairs. So he swings behind me, dragging his feet, pull his head down. Kind of like a prisoner going to the electric chair. He knows his fate. the next thing you know, we're like in the throes. And I can't help it, my mind kind of starts to wander. Just about like important things, you know, like, did I clean the oven? Because the other day when I turned on like big puffs of smoke came out, I think that means you're supposed to clean it. But more important than that, like I don't have a Halloween costume. I was like a cave girl for like 12 years. And then I was Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. I should really just get my ass down to the Halloween store. But I think costume's like $50. And the only thing they ever have for like extra love girls is like a pregnant nun, which is not sexy or scary, except maybe to a nun. So then all of a sudden, like the best idea hits me, and I'm like, I need a ceiling mirror. A ceiling mirror are like those mirrored closet doors, because if I had one of those at this very moment, I could like tap my husband on the shoulder and be like, hey, do you see yourself? I hate to pull the race card here, but you're black. And studies show that given the equipment, you could be doing this better. I hate to say it, but and so, it's really weird dating, actually being married to a black man in Santa Cruz, because at any given time there's only like two. So when we're out like to lunch with the girlfriend, my girlfriend's like, hey, is that your husband? And I'm like, oh no, it's the other one. And then it's also weird because you forget, because you're like in a really accepting place, that there's like the triple K is still out there, and they would like nothing best but to like murder my husband and like keep me all like captivated and do something bad to me, like I don't know, make me wear white after Labor Day. And I'm not really a white kind of girl. And so then, along with haters of the world, you have black women I have to deal with. And not all black women, of course, but like a lot of black women are still like, I hate white women. And they're always taking all of our good black men. And I'm like, hello, I didn't get a good one. So what do I do? And all I did was take another lazy no-good one off the market. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't think Nicole Simpson felt like she got a good one. So there are some bad ones out there, Kind of opposite from the black women is black men, which oddly enough I like attracting groves now. Whether they see me with my husband or not, it's like I have an invisible sign, like black men welcome here. So they like come and ask me out, but it's never like the Denzel Washington, like super hot guys. Never. All the guys that ask me out look like Rick James. And they're not like, hey, you look really pretty, can I try your... No, it's nothing like that. It's like, bitch, why don't you come take a ride on my Midnight Express? And I'm like, come on, dude, I'm already serving a life sentence on a Midnight Express. I don't really want to buy into the ticket, thank you. And then, that's all I have to say is if you're going to get married, I really think that you should think about what you do at your wedding. Because like I sang for my husband, really nice song. I could not ask for more. It was a beautiful song, wedding song. But after like almost being married 7 years, I have to say that that was probably the wrong song to sing. But I've never heard of a pretty wedding song saying I could not ask for less. I never have. It's very sad. So, I don't know. It's very weird being married. And that's all I have.